Today I compiled 10 of my album reviews of the Rolling Stone 500 Greatest Albums of All Time list, from 490 to 481. Today I listened to album 490, Linda Ronstadt's 1974 album Heart Like a Wheel. Maybe I just don't like the genre. After disliking Nick of Time and Bonnie Raitt, I turned to one of Raitt's contemporaries. Though Ronstadt made her breakthrough 15 years earlier. There are things to like about this record. For one, Ronstadt is an accomplished singer, more powerful and dramatic than Raitt. But there is something about the production on this kind of 70s soft rock that leaves me cold. It's so precisely produced that it sounds shrink-wrapped, leaving no space for the music to breathe and live. It can also be mighty boring, especially the sleepy ballad which gives the album its name. A song covered in sighing strings and lacking anything resembling a pulse. The album is thankfully saved from complete failure by a few good songs, particularly the opener You're No Good, the rocking When Will I Be Loved, originally by the Everly Brothers, and a superb version of James Taylor's You Can Close Your Eyes to close the album, 2 out of 5. Today I listened to album 489, Back to Mono 1958 and 1969 by Phil Spector. Be My Baby by the Ronettes is such a good song that it appears twice on this list. This time was on hopefully the longest album, which clocks in at just under 4 hours. Back to Mono is difficult to review, given its length and because lyricism and singing ability matter less than on other albums. It is a compilation of Spector's wall of sound technique, which was based on using a whole orchestra to create rich, deep layers of sound. But Spector didn't just create noise, it saw the value of silence, as in the famous drum intro to Be My Baby. Unfortunately, this 4-hour box set can't help but feature a lot of filler, most of which sound like failed attempts to capture the catchiness of the Do Ron Ron or the majesty of River Deep Mountain High. The final quarter of this box set is the second album, namely A Christmas Gift for You by Phil Spector, which I consider skipping. Songs are still broadly appealing and well made. Overall, the production of this album is genuinely great, but its design is long and repetitive. 2.7 out of 5. Punk rock is one of the most important trends in music history. Today I listened to album 488, Stooges' 1969 self-titled album, when rock was losing its way by indulging in inscrutable symphonies, fanciful psychedelia, and frivolous soft rock. Punk rock harnessed the raw power of original rock and roll. Punk is a vital musical genre even if you're not a mohawk-growing, safety-pin ear-piercing, boot-wearing danger to society. Many of the most popular 80s artists, including Blondie, The Talking Heads, and Billy Idol, started off in punk, and 80s-inspired synthpop is still one of the most popular movements in music today. It all originates with his debut album from the Stooges, led by the inimitable Iggy Pop. Despite all I've said, I'm not sure this music is really that punk. It's generally slow, especially the woozy, weed-fueled Gregorian chant-inspired We Will Fall. The talent is generally more wah-wah and virtuosic than the short, simple riffs I normally associate with punk rock. Despite my genre complaints, I Wanna Be Your Dog is still an undeniable single, which kickstarted the career of one of rock's greatest auteurs, and I hear they were better live. 2.9 out of 5. Today I listened to album 487, Black Flag's 1981 album Damaged. This is the hardest type of album to review. The influence of Black Flag's debut album on hardcore punk may hardly be overstated, but for most people, hardcore is the peripheral genre, only heard in dingy clubs or from the headphones of the guy at the back of the bus. The common perception of hardcore is that it's loud, abrasive, and dangerous. Not completely wrong. At times the listening experience can be downright unpleasant, like on the outro Damaged 1, where singer Keith Morris wails and yells over overwhelmingly assaulted riffs from guitarist Greg Ginn. Other songs seem half-finished, like a 30-second spray paint. Despite this, Black Flag reveals some real artistic talent, from the skillful drum and bass intro to No More, and a fun, riotous opener of Rise Above. The zenith of this album, TV Party, is the fun, subtle satire on our addiction to the small screen. This album is essential listening for any hardcore punk fans. Of course, they've already heard it. I recommend it to all music fans, even though it is unlikely to convert any skeptics. 3.2 out of 5. Today I listened to album 486, John Mayer's 2006 album Continuum. Never call me a sexist. I don't like boys doing bluesy soft rock any more than when women do it. Mayer's third album sees him abandon pop rock and instead explore coffee shop blues. And for those who already think of Mayer as an asshole, this guy used the M-word and named his genitalia after white supremacy in the same interview, they'll be relieved to know it carries into his music, and when he congratulates himself on not sleeping with a woman whose life he knows he would otherwise destroy. Mayer can also be politically unbearable. On waiting for the world to change, he naively hopes for political change, rather than organize for it. Less, yes we can, and more, maybe we will. For all its faults though, Continuum is a gorgeously produced album, and Mayer and his producing partner Steve Jordan deserve a lot of credit. The beautiful lullaby The Heart of Life is a rare highlight on this record. Fortunately, the rest of the album is classy and refined without any real bite or interest. 2 out of 5. Today I listened to album 485, Richard and Linda Thompson's 1974 album I Want to See the Bright Lights Tonight. The second album by Richard Thompson, and the first to feature his wife, is sharply written folk rock. Richard was formerly of Fairport Convention, whose biggest hit was a French-language version of a Bob Dylan song. This would not be the last time this folk rocker with a nasal voice would be compared to Dylan. What separates them is Richard's wife Linda, a fantastic singer with a voice somewhere between Lorena Kennett and Karen Carpenter. Though his lyrics can be a little obscure at first listen, Richard is a talented writer. On Down with a Drunkard's Roll, he sketches a sympathetic tale of addiction. On The End of the Rainbow, he gives the hard truths of life to a newborn. Unfortunately, the largely acoustic guitar-driven instrumentation can lead to the slower songs sounding a little dull and staid. But on the rarity when they get to the border, tin whistles, accordions, concertinas, and crumb horns are introduced. This is a perfect recipe for a cult classic, so nothing at a time which since become critically beloved. 3.5 out of 5. Lady Gaga draws heavily from Madonna on her sophomore album. Today I listened to album 484, Lady Gaga's 2011 album Born This Way. Born This Way, a revolutionary gay anthem, is her version of Express Yourself. While Madonna sported an English accent during her marriage to Guy Ritchie, Lady Gaga affects a Caribbean accent on Judas and mutters Def Leppard-style thick German on the house-inspired Shizer. They both struggled to come to terms with their Catholic upbringing. Madonna was denounced by the Pope for Like a Prayer. Born This Way was banned in Lebanon for Lady Gaga's provocative use of Catholic imagery. Maxwell is pop everyone on this album, but the aspect does not age particularly well. Since the unrelenting and loud, but at the same time repetitive and boring. But Born This Way also incorporated rock and metal on Electric Chapel and You and I, and there was some nice saxophone work on Hair and Close of the Edge of Glory. Lady Gaga's vocals are good throughout, giving from spoken word to Pat Benatar-style growling with ease. Overall, Born This Way showcases the best and worst of Lady Gaga at this time. It is loud, provocative, uncompromised, and surprisingly eclectic. 3.2 out of 5. This is really an album of two parts, as different as night and day. Today I listened to album 483, the 2001 Muddy Waters Greatest Hits album, The Anthology, 1947-72. The first half is a collection of Waters' work between 1947 to 55, a collection of relatively slow and primitive guitar and bass tunes. These tracks are mostly of interest to hardcore blues fans, such as those who named their music magazine after a 1950 single by Waters. The second half of this album is propulsive, raucous blues rock, with squealing electric guitars, stomping pianos, and hammering drums, which captured the imagination of everyone from Eric Clapton to Mick Jagger and the Black Keys on enormous hits like Manish Boy and 40 Days and 40 Nights. Overall, the anthology captures the evolution of one of the most important figures in popular music history, but for my money the first half could easily have been left off. 2.8 out of 5. Today I listened to album 482, The Far Side's 1992 album Bizarre Ride to the Far Side. The second album on this list to feature the second Roman numeral. This is the debut album by West Coast rap group The Far Side, and the first hip-hop album on this ranking. Bizarre Ride to the Far Side is a record characterized by youth. The Far Side, a really group of teens shouting inane nonsense about masturbating on the toilet, choking on marijuana smoke, and making endless yo mama jokes. Even the album art, which depicts a rollercoaster ride into a vagina dentata, relates to the theme of sexual inexperience and fear of the future. Unfortunately, it does remind me of some of the negative aspects of young guys, go for better or for worse, where a fat-lipped prank calls a young woman and threatens to sexually assault her. The Far Side do delve into deeper subjects than Officer, where they plead to a police officer to not pull them over for being four black N-words riding through the neighborhood. Even the Officer, though, can't stop himself sounding simply exuberant. Joyful rapping and jazzy production are the two ties that make up this toasting fork on the album. 3.1 out of 5. Today I listened to album 481, Belle and Sebastian's 1996 album If You're Feeling Sinister. On this breakthrough album of Scottish indie rock band Belle and Sebastian, lead singer Stuart Murdoch whimpers and lisps through 10 songs of soft, delicate jangle pop. Murdoch sings with a rapid-fire diction approaching rapping, especially the minor major, but Belle and Sebastian also find space for trumpet solos and other musical interludes to allow the album to breathe. They have a knack for sprinkling subtle pop hooks throughout, whether it be the offbeat drums on the starter track and field, or the refrain on the closer, Judy and the Dream of Horses. This album is too wimpy to ever raise my pulse, and Murdoch's intricate lyrics are obscure to the point of obtuseness on first attempt, but only raises the value of repeat listens. 2.9 out of 5. Join me soon for another album review.